guys, and welcome to As Yet Untitled. I've got 4 guests, and we'll be having a conversation that is entirely unprepared, unrehearsed, not previously drafted, not scripted, like this. And even as we speak, channel executives are throwing themselves off the roof. That was actually scripted, but not by me. And by the end of the hour, we will have come up with a title for the show. That is our sole aim. So please, will you welcome my guests? Good evening, everyone. Bill Bailey is here. Hello, Bill. Bill is an honorary member of the Society of Crematorium Organists. It's one of the things I like about Bill. Isy Suttie is here. Isy Suttie, regional winner for composition in the Daily Telegraph Young Jazz Musician of the Year 1995, and has a GNVQ in wine tasting. To the things I like about Isy Suttie. Craig Campbell is here. Fantastic. Craig Campbell once exchanged details with the head of Iraqi police. Details, not fluids. It's an important distinction. And Kevin Eldon. Kevin was once a pirate at Alton Towers. Is that true?
Good time, yeah.
You were an actual pirate.
I wasn't an actual pirate. I was a pretend pirate in the context of the Alton Towers setup. But we were in a little isolated wooden cabin which was set on this little false island which had a little tiny train going around it. And we were in there for 8 hours, and every quarter of an hour the train would go round us, full of kids, and we'd have to act out a sort of mini play as pirates.
Were you getting much work at the time?
No, because in that cabin were 5 unemployed actors, right? So
how old were you at this time?
4. 28, 29. The thing is, we had to do a show every quarter of an hour, and what made the show go downhill a bit, but uphill for us, was we had an enormous amount of alcohol hidden away in the cabin.
As indeed pirates would.
Yeah, exactly. And so by 12 o'clock it was, hey, good pirates.
By 12?
By 12, yeah. Yeah, we started at 11:30.
Yeah.
And also, sorry.
What happened in the play?
Well, you basically had to have a false fight, and you had to shout, "Look out, there be skeletons." That was it.
Right, and that went just on a loop.
There was a lot of impro involved.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to climb over the false island and shake a sword. It wasn't the most exacting of roles I've ever taken on. But also, then some of the pirates brought cannabis into the equation, and some of them did. And so it got very slow, and it got quite introspective.
Yeah.
The paranoid pirate.
The paranoid pirates. Yeah. Where have they got? They're still in the cabin.
Yeah.
Pieces of 8. Who said that? Yeah, pieces of 8. Well, yeah. So, I did that. But I was in London at the time, and I'd have travelled anywhere to be a pirate for £15 a day, cash in hand.
Did you have to wear an eye patch?
I had to wear an eye patch. You had to bring your own.
Did the lack of depth perception cause any trouble?
Yeah, it caused enormous problems.
Bad? Around kids with a sword?
Exactly. Especially after 4 joints and a pint of scrumpy.
Yeah, it goes all... Your distance goes all out, doesn't it?
Do you keep your eye closed when you've got a patch on there, or do you keep it open underneath? I always wondered that.
Well, you overcompensate. You actually hold it like that because you're trying to... You're actually trying to go through the darkness. So you've got one eye normal and the other one is 4 times its normal size.
Could you not make a little hole in the patch so it looks like a patch, but actually you can see out of the patch?
If I had a time machine that took me about 25 years, then that's exactly what I'd have done.
Yeah. And so it's just an experiment. It's all close one eye and just pick out your drink, right? OK, right, here we go. That went much better than I expected.
It does explain why the cabin was ankle deep in scrumpy.
Yeah, doesn't it? See, what I was going to say was that your depth perception goes out, and then exactly.
Yeah.
Who are you people?
Yeah. Just appeared.
You've never seen these people before on the show?
£15 a day cash.
Hang on, one of them's got a wooden leg. Wait a minute.
So, Craig, if I'd actually had an eye patch on there and he'd suggested that and you'd had a compass, would you have actually poked me in the eye then?
If you'd let me finish my vodka, yes.
A pint of vodka. Don't give him another drink.
No, don't give him...
just a half.
You really do look like a pirate. In a sort of comedy pirate way, beardy, long-haired-y.
We don't have a huge tradition of pirating in Canada.
Well, we don't really in Hampstead.
I used to want to be an albino when I was a kid. I think it's because of an albino rabbit. When you're a kid, you look at rabbits a lot, don't you?
Yeah, you what? You don't... You're taken to see rabbits. It's not... You don't... You know, unless there's rabbits in your home, I suppose, and then because you would...
One in your bed when you wake up, looking at him.
Actually, I'm not sure if a white rabbit is an albino, whether it's just a rabbit that's white.
I don't know, because it's got red eyes, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So I think it...
I think it is.
I think I knew about the Dre's test before I knew about rabbits.
What's that?
What's the Dre's test?
It's when they put shampoo in their eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Quite wrongly, I think.
Yeah, well, it's not ideal, is it? And you'd think there'd be another way of doing it, surely. I mean, is there not some other way of finding out whether it stings?
Prisoners.
Exactly. Well, I was going to say, human... You know, there's a guy at university who would get paid to try out drugs, and he took all sorts of things, beta blockers, antidepressants, all kinds of drugs, and he had to keep kind of samples of his wee and his all around the flat, and he used to keep them on the outside, on the window ledge.
Why did he have to leave it on the window ledge? To do with the temperature?
Yeah, exactly. It couldn't be too warm, you see, in the flat, because student accommodation is freezing anyway, so it doesn't really matter where it was. But, yeah, I think it froze a couple of times, so it was shocked the people below.
Get a bit of frozen urine in it. Is that an urban myth that sometimes you can get out of a plane will fall some frozen wee?
Oh, yeah.
And then it'll land on a person, and then they'll die because of the impact.
Yeah.
And then when they're found, they'll just be
People
lying
just
in a
think they're
puddle of
dead.
wee.
Yeah.
It's like the old stabbing someone with a...
Icicle.
Icicle, yeah.
An icicle of wee.
Or something other, like custard or something. Could you freeze custard?
Yeah, you could...
If you were going to kill someone with it, but not if you're going to eat it afterwards, because dairy doesn't really...
Yes.
Freeze well.
It separates,
other than ice
doesn't
cream.
it?
Yeah, separate. My mum froze my birthday cake when I was very little, and it shrunk to about half its size. And all the writing went really weird. Yeah, but she also breastfed me till I was 3, so... You know what, right, the other day, my mate was still breastfeeding a kid, and it can speak, and it's got teeth and stuff, and I was like, this is a bit weird. And I remembered that I was breastfed till I was 2, or so I thought. And I went home and I was like, actually, I can't believe you breastfed me till I was 2, because I've just seen... I'll change her name. Carolyn. That was called Carolyn, aren't they? Breastfeeding her kid. And my mum said, oh, no, we didn't breastfeed you till you were 2. We breastfed you till you were 3. So it explains a lot. Like why I wanted to be an albino. And But you know what? I Googled breastfeeding older kids to try and make myself feel better, and I found all these articles about it, because
A lot of people go longer than that.
Huh?
A lot of people go longer than
much
that.
longer, and there's this woman who was still breastfeeding her 8-year-old son. I know, and there's like a picture of him on her lap and everything. And
a laptop at the same time.
doing his accounts.
Texting his mates going, this is weird.
She still wants to do it. But in the interview...
And a blanket to hide the erection.
But in the interview, she said that she'd said to him, when are we going to stop doing this? And he said, we're going to do it till I'm married or you're dead.
That could apply to so many things. We're going to do this till I'm married or you're dead.
The rest of this episode will be on Dave On Demand if you missed it. And now for extra stories that didn't make the show.
My dad went to work and they did a medical and they said, you're all right, have you got anything else to talk about? And he said, my wife's still breastfeeding our 3-year-old, and apparently the doctor said, you've got to stop that. So he went home and he said, you've got to stop that now. And she went, all right. And she got a packet of Smarties and she used to put them, like, a centimetre away from the nipple, and I used to go for the Smartie and then back to the nipple like really quickly, like lightning, and then she just moved the Smartie further and further away, and then eventually the Smartie was sort of down there, and I just let that and then wandered off.
Is this the first time you've told anyone about it? We're all friends here. I mean, you know.
But I mean, in 1921, a music hall chap was in a park, and he heard one kid say to the other, "I shall telephone you this evening. I believe it's Walthamstow 341," and then he'd have been absolutely shocked about that. But it's just a development from that.
This in the hand won't last long, will it? It'll be some flip-down eye monocle.
It's already there.
Yeah, it's all Google Glasses.
Glass.
Be on your watch or...
It's on the watch now, you can do that.
You just flip it in the air, look at it, catch it again.
I want it to be embedded in the finger. That's the next stage, for me. To actually have a microphone put into your hand, and then this, you just do that. Finally, you just dispense with the device. Yeah, hold on, I'll put you on hold, just say or, something. I mean, that's...
When Wall-E came out, the film Wall-E?
Yeah.
And it seemed prophetic at the time, because in Wall-E, the humans become so obese that they can't really walk, so they kind of on mobility scooters with a screen, and even though they're next to each other, they communicate through the screen, and that seemed prophetic. And then, even now, that looks like a laughably inaccurate prediction of the future.
I know, it dates so quickly, that's the frightening thing. I don't like technology. I wish I could I've got this fantasy where I move to the country and just make sort of otters out of clay and sell them by the roadside and somehow earn enough money and have a landline and that's it.
Yeah. You would want to do that. But what is it about technology then? Is it just kind of...
I think that thing of people, I don't like that. I think our attention spans are getting smaller, and I don't like that thing of people being able to watch programmes and also tweet and be on checking their emails. I don't think it's good for us. I think it's good to just sit down and by the fireside and read a novel. I suppose you could still do that.
Yeah, you can read
on
it
your tablet.
on your iPad. Yeah.
On the end of your finger.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Set the laptop to look like flames.
I like that the biggest raving lunatic at the party, I'd say going back maybe 10 years, like the craziest person you knew, high out of their mind, entertaining 3 people barely listening about how paranoid you should be about having your laptop open. I'm talking about guys that would run across the room with a piece of tape that they brought with them and just to help a friend out. Yeah, you want to cover that up? Yeah. Government's listening. That they were right. Yes. That the fact is that a laptop can be commandeered remotely, and beyond that it can be commandeered remotely to a degree of comfort or convenience to the person who's remotely viewing you on your laptop by the fact that they get a prompt to bother even watching when you have movement on your screen that tells them you're home from work. Which, they're not even inconvenienced by the fact that they can wait until, Bill's home, pay attention. There he is making a sandwich.
But we sleepwalked into...
How do you know that?
Yeah. We sleepwalked into that situation where every single thing we buy and do and watch is tracked. Where we go, Oyster cards in London, things like that. And
everything except waiting alone at an intersection.
We go, that's
4 in the morning.
4 in the morning.
70 cameras. None of them know I'm the only guy there.
It's a bit creepy.
But I think that's the sort of spice, isn't it, of marketing? It's like knowing what you want and delivering exactly what you want or have chosen to you on all the things that you might see. That sort of, it starts like you go on, you buy stuff online, and then the next minute there's things popping up. Oh, you bought a Slipknot CD. You might like these crossbows, and so, how did you do that?
My favourite Slipknot story, which I'm sure you know. Slipknot, how would you describe them? Thrash punk metal? What?
At Halloween.
They have a very odd band in that they invite abuse from their fans, and that's one of the things that they get up to. Yeah, they love that. They don't want them to email them and say, "Oh, we love you." They want them to get inventive, and so they love all that, right? Yeah. So, but Slipknot is also a term from knitting. And some of their fans got the wrong website. It's actually quite a nice knitting website with patterns on and knitting forums, suddenly torn to shreds by people inventing all kinds of new ways to abuse the people who ran the website and cause a stir.
The maggots, they call their fans.
Do they?
The fans are the maggots, yeah.
Have they got the singing that's sort of...
There's a bit of that. That's them covering a boy band song, isn't it?
That's their Christmas album, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's once in all David Studio.
It's a medley. Where were you when this was a hit? There's a lot of that. They're all wearing pig masks and spikes and stuff like this, and banging oil drums, and flames are coming out. I supported them
You
at
love
a
them.
metal festival. Yeah, and I was really very careful that I finished on time. I did not want to upset the Slipknot fans by but the knot, as they're called. The knot, yes. And they're quite scary, but very nice lads actually, very quietly spoken.
Do a lot of knitting.
Do a lot of knitting. Yeah.
I had a strange one recently where I'd hurt myself snowboarding in a what I think is a very snowboardy town in Canada, one of my favorite snowboardy towns. And since I've been living there years ago, it's gained quite a reputation as a gang location and has a major drug problem. And I went in with my injured face. I'd ripped open some stitches on my cheek, and the doctor was very solemn, but he, asked me what had happened, and I'm there in snowboard gear at snowboard time, and he just said, "Son, are you sure there's nothing else you want to tell us about what happened?"
Do you relish injury? Or do you like recuperation?
I like recuperation. I like wrapping my head around rehabilitation. I like the, making it a positive rather than...
So you like risk and recuperation?
Yeah, absolutely. I marvel at the body's ability to regenerate itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Looking
how
at your
your mind-
finger, I'm not
Yeah,
convinced.
You should, the ribs. I like breaking things that nothing can be done for. So, anybody recently break ribs? Another one just like the finger. You go into any hospital. I broke ribs. They're like, yeah, good luck.
Did you get punctured
Try
lung?
not to sneeze when you're pooping. Nothing they can do.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, sorry?
Did you get a punctured lung?
No, thankfully. That's the only issue really that can come from...
So are you prepared to go again?
This is an old one. I've broken several since then.
But you do
This is
so
most
many... You're
dramatic.
always up mountains and down
Yeah.
valleys and
falling
across
off.
rivers and things like that. So it's just part of
It
the...
happens, yeah.
It's part of being on
pastime,
a... Yeah, it's great fun. I mean, I've been to Chamonix many times and skied there. And it is, you don't, one of those days, you just think, well, this is the day that something's going to happen. You just have to accept it.
Yeah.
But it always happens when you don't expect it to. Like I love skiing as well, and I went...
Accidents, you mean?
Yeah, like it's not. We nicked a table from a hotel restaurant. It was really big, 3 of us, and we dragged it. It was about 3 a.m. We were hammered. We dragged it up the main run into the town, which was a red run. It was a really lovely red run, and we got to the top of it. And one of my mates had a wee. I always remember that he had this wee, and this piss seemed a really sort of
Pre-crime
big moment. It was like
Marking
okay,
the crime.
marking the territory. This is where we did. This is where we did it from, and we all upturned the table, so we put this bit onto the snow. We were going, it's not going to move, it's not going to move. But as soon as we sat on it, it just spread down. We were spinning around, and they rolled off. I was with 2 Scousers, massive guys, and they just rolled off and carried on pissing, presumably. And then I turned round and around this table, and I wouldn't let go. I'm quite sort of... stubborn. Yeah, I'm quite tenacious. I'm quite stubborn as well. I thought, no, we've said we're going to get to the bottom of this table. I'm not getting off it. And we got to the bottom, and if I'd been about a foot to the right, I would have gone straight into it was a lovely little town. It was Morzine. It was a lovely little town, and you got a little train to the...
Yeah.
I would have gone straight into this
Decapitation
glass-fronted
device?
shop.
Yeah.
Basically a decapitation device. Yeah. But I got tangled into
We have a lot of tobogganing in Canada, by the way. I'm just racing ahead on your toboggan story.
Yeah.
And then what happened? Well, you'll never guess. All of our heads came off.
The end. I just got tangled in this net, and it was fine. We just had more booze. But then it's the time when you're just going along on a snowboard and you just go, and then break your ankle. You think, well, why did that happen when I've gone down a slope on a table?
I was in Edmonton in Alberta.
A lot of injuries there.
And in the West Edmonton Mall, which is a vast shopping mall. Right? Now, inside there is a roller coaster, isn't it? Have you been on that thing?
Yeah, the Mind Bender.
You go on that. It's quite exciting.
Killed 3 people within... Yeah. That's a killer coaster.
I was queuing up for it.
I'm afraid you should be.
And I was queuing with 2 Canadian friends, and we got to a certain point in the queue, and one of them said to the other one, this is the point where the guy got his head cut off.
Yeah.
And it had come off the thing, ploughed into the queue and decapitated someone. They put it back together and reopened it.
It was gravity fed, and they had too much descent, so their speed was beyond what the thing could corner. So they essentially just retooled it so it couldn't descend as quickly. But I think it was 3 people that died.
So how did the head come off then?
It hit pipes, part of the structure. Yeah. So basically, it winged around a corner in the back car of 2 sets of 4. So an 8 car with a hinge in the middle. Yeah. The back one kind of went
sideways.
Yeah, it went sideways and clang.
Yeah.
You lose.
Yeah.
Probably there might be CCTV
Tickets!
about.
Tickets!
Why don't they get a photo at the end of the people being,